Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yep, going well, mate. Another week, more dollars to make for everyone and ourselves.
Absolutely, mate. Interesting card over this weekend, but if we edge into the next week, I'm pretty sure you had your bags packed for the Bull three weeks ago, didn't you?
I've had the countdown on my wall for a long, long time. I'm like a little kid on Christmas.
Mate, looking forward to that as well. But before then, we do have as we said, a bit of an interesting card along the east coast, and I think we're going to touch on all states, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Brisbane. So four states, four winners. I reckon. I reckon we can do it. But yeah, it's a weird. Looking at Sandown, I thought it was a really good card, and then once the weather reports came out, and I did a few bit more deeper dive, geez, I almost threw the towel in after a couple of races. But we found a couple with some confidence and some value. But yeah, it should be good. We will find some winners, unlike last week. I think if you love a second, we were really good to those punters on the weekend.
Mate, hopefully, someone had a place multi.
Yeah, yeah. Cirillo Miss second, Manhattan Times second, Yellow Bow second, and I had a duck egg with Air Clash. But you were good enough to find Andermatt and Dragonstone 1-2, Matty.
Yeah, we did say jump on the Quinella, and it paid handsomely, which was nice, especially considering how impressive Andermatt was. And Dragonstone, look, I just ran into an absolute superstar in Andermatt, which will definitely be one that we'll be following.
Yeah, most definitely. He looks to be a very, very progressive horse for the Godolphin Yard. All right. This episode is proudly brought to you by Wishbet. Please, punters, check them out if you want a new bookie at wishbet.com.au or download the app on their Apple or Android store. Me and Maddie and I both use them, and we're very happy with their services. So please check them out, guys. And yeah, punt away. Pineapple of the week last week. What a sickening result. We knew our fate in the first 200 metres when we just stepped slowly and the 2 leaders just kicked along and we just had to do too much work. No fault of the jockey, just horse was a naughty horse on the day. And yeah, it cost us the pineapple and cost us the multi, which was more sickening for me. But yeah, we've got to pass the pineapple on to you, Matty. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you, mate. It has been a while, so looking forward to it. I've spent a little bit of extra time making sure that we do land this one.
Yeah, we will. We will. Just got to find the right horse. That's the key. Track stats for Hillside, Sandown, Rail True. I reckon this is where the important info is going to be, punters. I reckon they will stay off the rail at the hillside. Normally, lanes 1 and 2 aren't the go zone, even on a good track. This is going to be around the soft 7, maybe heavy range. I'm be listening to the track report to see if they put any water on or they're waiting for the weather to arrive. So that's very important info. But lanes 3 and 7 will be the A spots as always. And as I like to say, watch and act on the day, and we'll see how we go. Buying shares in, Matty. Got anything?
Yeah, well, just one this week, mate. We have mentioned it, Andermatt. I'd imagine it's going to head north in the coming weeks. So it will be within our portfolio moving forward. As you said, Godolphin have definitely found one there.
I reckon the rumor is it's going to go to Scone in a couple of weeks. And it's going to take the same path as like Osborne Bulls and the couple of the other ones that they've had. I can't. They mentioned them, but I can't. The ones that have been in the Everest before.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So trekking, I might be the other one, but I could be wrong with that one. But yeah, they're going to look like they're just going to go through the grades until they get to the spring, which is might be a fill up for the punters.
We'll definitely we'll be keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. Cash out. You got anything?
No cash outs this week. We'll stick fat.
I'm gonna just a slight cash out here on Caulfield MRC. If anyone hasn't listened to RSN today with the CEO Josh Blanksby, highly recommend you listen to it because he really got taken to the cleaners by one Matt Stewart. It was actually quite interesting to listen to because, yes, if anyone follows me on Twitter, you know how dissatisfied I've been with MRC with their communication of late with their renos and that. And yeah, it was quite interesting watching a journo stick it to the CEO, and geez, he got flustered, and it was quite good listening. So yeah, find it on your podcast, and yeah, it goes for about 10 minutes. It's towards the end, it gets quite fiery. I reckon a few f bombs went off when he hung up the phone.
Did
So
Matty Shield get a little bit emotional?
uh no, he just asked the right questions that punters were thinking, and he didn't like it and thought he had a he was taking a side because he's got friends in the industry. And Matt Stewart just returned serve and said, "Come on, mate, pull your head in," and boom, it just went off like a frog in a sock. It was no, well worth a listen. So go and check it out, and yeah, I'm cashing out on MRC, so that's why I'm heading to the Bull this next weekend. So let's get stuck into it, guys. Sandown race 3. I'm going to give it a short preview here. The odds courtesy of Wishbet. We've got Ciccone, $3. Number 9, Storetto, $5. Number 12, Skywolf, $6. Djumbuck, number 5, $10 and $12 plus the rest. The one I landed on here was the Djumbuck at $10. Last two starts have been really good, coming off some really good placing and a win. Couple before that, I wouldn't worry about. He was just ridden upside down, and he's just uncompetitive when he's just ridden upside down. Uh, he has a good barrier to Saturday to lead or outside leader. He's coming from the one of the outside barriers, and he's going to sit right in the hot spot, I reckon, in those lanes. I can't see the tempo being as fast as jockeys will try and get an even tempo up front to make sure their horse can get through the ground. Only been on a soft 7 to the Jumbuck and handled it well last start. Will Price has a good connection with this horse. He's been on it last 2 times and previous starts and rode it really well. And with this horse being 10s, I can easily make this a 1/3 bet. Totally respect number 12, Skywolf. I'm worried it might be just pushed near the rail from barrier 3. First up win was good. Form around it. Bermudez, no issue. But at fives, I wouldn't talk you out of backing it if you do like it, but I'm happy to stick with the Jumbuck. Um, of the two favourites, I'm not saying they can't win, but Storetto was just poor last start at Bendigo. Maybe it was the track. It was coming off some peak figures, so maybe he's just bottomed out a bit. But I just, on these conditions, I can't recommend it. And Ciccone, he was meant to run on Monday, scratched. Now he's running into a heavy track. They'd probably scratch as well. So I wouldn't be backing any horses until final scratchings, just because deductions are going to be huge if Ciccone comes out or Storetto. So just a watch and act, punters, but really happy to be a 1/3 with Djumbuck. Matty.
No, very nice, mate. I've got nothing further to add to that. I think at $9.50, $10, it's a very nice play.
Yeah, if it hopefully it holds that, and yeah, it could be a really nice yell down the straights of Royal Sandown or Swamp Down. Wishbet promo races 1 and 2 this week at all 11 thoroughbred race tracks. Finish second and receive a bonus bet up to $50. Please check the T's and C as they do apply. So races 1 and 2 at all races Saturday. Finish second and receive a bonus bet. Matty, you want to preview Rose Hill race 6? Oh no, Hawkesbury race 6. Sorry.
I wish we were at Rose Hill, but we're at Hawkesbury. Staying away from Melbourne, as you mentioned. Interesting to see how that track does play. But Hawkesbury, look, generally does play fair. You prefer to be up near the lead. And that's where we're looking for race number 6 here. Look, a couple of observations. Malkovic, how about one, just if you got the odds there, let's run through those.
Yeah, I got him right here.
Thanks, mate.
We got Malkovic favourite at $2.45, courtesy of Wishbet. Number 6, Tycoonus, $5. Number 1, 1111, $5. Number 5, Marbusha, $9. And number 4 for Toos, $9. And the rest are $12 plus.
Thank you, mate. Just with those observations, and Malkovic obviously being the 245 favourite, the key thing for me here is, does anyone from out wide take it on, or does it get an easy lead? If it gets that easy lead, it's going to be exceptionally hard to pass. So the four that I found within this race, and the fourth horse, Tycoonus, was actually one that I thought I'd be closer to having a bet with. But look, its first up form hasn't been winning form. However, last start was really impressive, only a nose behind Mr. Mosaic, and definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen that race. So it will be around the mark and should be in the first half of the field. But look, just for the fact that it's first up, I just couldn't have it any higher. Our Bellagio Miss went for home really early, first up, held on solidly for second. So it'll get a comfortable run from the inside draw and should get a decent toe into the race. It will need some luck from barrier number 1. So it's probably the main reason I couldn't push this horse any further up, but you should see some improvement. Marbusha, interesting horse. It's definitely going to like the firmer track. Tommy Berry is a huge tick on here. This is much weaker company than what it has been racing against previously as well. The wide gate is a concern. It'll try and slot in as it has done previously from out wide. And if it can do that, it's going to be the horse that's going to be running on late. So, really interesting one, Marbusha. And again, I think that's around about that $10 mark. So, interesting one. But Malkovic, as I mentioned earlier on, I can't see much pace within this race. I can't see anyone out wide crossing it. It's going to enjoy quite a comfortable lead. It'll push forward, obviously, and when it did this at Flemington, down the straight, it was on the grandstand side. There was 3 on the rails, but it was far too quick, and it moved into the middle of the track across the last 200 metres. And Josh Parr on board, no issues there. So I do have Malkovic on top at that 245, 250 mark, but I'm definitely going to be having a play with Marbusha. Out wide, I think if it can find a spot and it doesn't need to sit 3 wide, I think it'll definitely be running on late. And if Malkovic does get challenged up front, Marbusha's the one that I'd like to be on for any of the horses coming from a few back.
You're a very, very forgiving man, mate, because there'd be a lot of punters out there wanting blood from this horse after its couple of win down the straight when people wouldn't have been on. And but I agree with what you're saying, mate. It is clear class factor. 11-11 got another race in mind, I reckon. Yeah, and one thing, I'm just looking at its form now, and it ran in the Galaxy, and I'm like, oh, that's its grand final, but it hasn't had a run for a month. It's had a barrier trial, won by 8 lengths, so you can't say the fitness is gone, or this is an afterthought. So, nah, agree with what you're saying. It has faced 11-11 before. That was in November 21, and 11-11 beat it by 0.3, and Malkovic blundered the start that day. So jumps cleanly, and Malkovic has a 5 kilo swing. Now, I'm not big into weights, especially sprints, but 5 kilos is a lot. So, yeah, I'm happy to follow you in here. And yeah, at the price, I think it's a nice price to get involved and find out. Well assessed, mate. Definitely getting on there, punters. All right, listeners, if you're listening to us via YouTube, oh, sorry, I've done it again each week. If you are watching us via YouTube and listening via your podcast platform, then please subscribe to our channels and receive the episodes as they drop. Please share with your episodes with your friends or family or anyone that would be interested. We would love to grow our listeners and we really appreciate your help. All right, race 6, I'm going to dive into here. It's the 1,000 meter dash. Favorite is Zorro's Dream at $4.20. Number 10, Starry Legend, $6. Number 7, Sark Palace, $6. Number 6, Young Liam, $8. Number 2, Lady Solly, $10. Destination, number 9, $10. And $11 plus the rest. This race is a very, very even race when assessing this, but I'm happy to make number 2, Lady Solly, a bet here. Its best racing has been when it's leading. Forget last start, it was just a poor ride. It was 3 wide, 6th or 7th. That's not its go. It's got to lead. Nice barrier to land in the perfect spot and sit 3 plus off the fence. Has some good numbers on the soft and heavy track. Really like this horse. Is track and distance stats something you can't overlook on this day. The danger to Lady Solly is young Liam. Will sit in the speed. Racing in career best form. Nice run last start, but 1100 was just too far for the horse. Back to 1,000. Only his concern is the jockey, and when he's on a leader, he can't judge the pace correct. And I think you'll have to be spot on this track on Saturday. So I'm happy to have a 1x3 bet on Lady Solly. No knock on Zorro's Dream. I'm a big fan of the horse. Just it's going to get a long way back, and Logan McNeil on board. And I reckon Sacre Palace will be scratched. I reckon it might go to the Bull next week. Starry Legend, I just don't rate the horse. Sir Galahad is a swimmer and he's $13. So if you like multiples, maybe add him in for your tries or first four. But yeah, I'm really happy to be with Lady Solly. Holland will want blood after his poor ride, and $10, I think it's a good bet. Matty, any thoughts?
Mate, you had a 50-50 chance of landing on a Mitsubishi Magna, and you've stuck well and truly clear.
Yep. And considering what you just said, you made a very good point. We've mentioned this on other podcasts. Look for the big jockeys this day because there's a few that have gone up to Brisbane or Adelaide, and you're dealing with not a lot of talent. Sorry, jockeys, but you're not dealing with a lot of, top jockeys. And in this race, I'm looking at the jockeys and Jai McNeil stands out. And then you got Paddy Maloney, no knock, nice jockey. But then you're looking at some very low rating jockeys. So keep an eye on the jockeys and what they're racing against, and you might find some value if the big hitters don't find it.
So when you mentioned Sacred Palace, you reckon that'll go to the Bull next week, do you?
I reckon just because of the barrier, I think it's got the wide barrier. And yeah, reports are that Lindsay Smith is setting up a massive attack on the Bull. And when I just saw this one in, I might I had this one penciled in for Warrnambool. Just looking for the barrier. Yeah, barrier 12 of 12. So
That's
keep
all
an eye
right.
on it, punters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was one I didn't mind and had in my numbers, but it'd be interesting to see if it does go up to the Bull.
Yeah, if he stays in Melbourne, he can definitely win. There's no knock on him. That form around in the boat, snapper, and its last start win at Terang was bloody impressive. Yeah, I just thought it'd be better suited at the Bull and not on a heavy track on Saturday if it is a heavy track. But if it's a soft 7, I would not talk you out of backing it, mate.
Very nice.
All right, around the grounds, Matty, you go through yours first, mate.
Okay, well, mate, we might go back up to Sydney and we'll stay up there. So race 4. Look, there were two horses in this that spent quite a lot of time having a look at, and the one we've landed on is Deep Strike, and the big danger in this one is Claypaw, which is the Irish import and had an absolute peach run up at Hawkesbury last start. Look, I probably don't expect it to improve off that run, but it will be one to keep an eye on moving forward. It is an Irish stayer, but Deep Strike gets sent up from Melbourne, and it'll definitely enjoy the softer track. It'll get back in running and be running on quite strongly. So, race 4, Deep Strike in Sydney. We'll go up to Brisbane, or we'll go up to Queensland. Race 7, Bend the Knee. Third up, building very nicely. Looks exceptionally well suited in this race. So that'll be one that I'll be having a play at. And then Melbourne, race number 9, I think it is, last of the day. Yep, race 9. Born a King. So Waller did have this up in Hawkesbury as well, scratched for the Melbourne run. Look, the barrier, the last race of the day, inside is a concern, but at the odds, I'm happy to have a play, mainly at a place. So it'll probably be a 1x3 play or something similar, but also one to include into the quaddies. Race 9, Born a King. So currently around that $16 mark, $5 mark for a place.
Beautiful. I like value. My two around the grounds, I'll go Adelaide race 6, Harley moving. This is my ATM horse. Won arrogant last start. Barrier 15, not a concern for me. This horse has a nice turn of foot, and I'm happy to go again at $2.50, and it can go cha-ching, cha-ching. The second one is Eagle Farm, race 6, number 9, maybe the best. So Victorian punters, you may know this from Victoria, has transferred up to the DVD camp. David Van Dyke. First up win at Sunshine Coast was good. Little let up is no concern for me. Barrier 15 is the only reason this horse will get beat, but they will edge off the rail like they do at Eagle Farm. The form this horse had in Melbourne and raced against is against High and Dry, Paul's Regret, Under My Spell, Scissor Step. Now, these are all city grade horses in Melbourne and they'd probably all go up and win in Brisbane. And maybe the best is running in a Class 3 event on Saturday. So at $5, I am happy to have a bet on that. Multi-time. Maddie, what do you want to put in the multi?
We'll be staying in Sydney and we'll be going with Deep Strike.
Beautiful. Got some strong mail on that. They are ready to rock and roll. I'm going to throw in Geelong. Yes, I'm a hero. $1.20. You'll beauty. And I'm going to throw in maybe the best, the win at Eagle Farm. So that comes to around $30. So that's Deep Strike in Sydney, maybe the best in Eagle Farm, and Geelong to beat Freo. Pineapple of the week, Matty. Where are we going?
Pineapple of the week. We've already mentioned the horse twice. So I think between Mick Price and Mick Kent, I think they expect this horse to be winning up in Sydney, and so do we. Race 4, Deep Strike. As we said, Carla Paul is the danger, the Irish import. However, don't expect it to improve off its last run, where we are expecting Deep Strike to improve. Plus, also, as we mentioned earlier, that softer ground will be a huge advantage for it. So, quite confident in Deep Strike up in Sydney.
Yep, beautiful. Good bet, mate. Line up punters because we'll be collecting there. Next week, punters, there won't be an episode via me. It's up to Matty if he wants to do one by himself. So I'll be at Warrnambool, and it's probably best if we don't do a show while I'm at Warrnambool. So I might do one day one, do a preview because I'll be probably feeling nice and fresh before day one. Maybe day 2 and 3, I might throw one out too. If you are looking to bet at Warrnambool, please stay active on the socials because we might throw out our bets on Twitter at Whispers Racing on Twitter. An early bet for me is Vanguard at Warrnambool. It's going to go over the sticks. It's entered for the Tuesday. I don't know if it's running, but it might go to the Grand Annual. I'm very, very keen to take any odds, anything down to $1.30. So I think it's a really good jumper in the making. So if you see me at Warrnambool, come and say hello. I'll buy you a beer courtesy of Maddie's wallet. So please come and say hello. Anything to add, Maddie?
Mate, did you give those 60 slabs back to the Warrnambool Racing Club?
Yeah, I couldn't fit him in my garage. I don't know where to put him now. But no, it's a good result for
You might be okay for a podcast next week, mate. You might be on the soda waters.
yeah, it could be dry July down at Warrnambool. But no, good on a different corp for jumping in and buying 60 slabs for the racing club so we can all have a good time.
Mate, make sure you enjoy it. It will be an absolutely ripping week.
Oh, yes. Yes, I will enjoy it. I will enjoy it. That's all I'll say. But if you see me around, please come and say hello and, introduce yourself. And I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you, especially early on day one. Um, Anything else to Matty?
Mate, that's all, mate.
Nah, have a great weekend, guys. Gamble responsibly and make sure you win plenty. Thank you all.